Celestial Encounter. First day on Nexus Station and already breaking protocol, Commander Cooper said with a raised eyebrow as I pressed my palm against the observation window. The view tends to have that effect on people. I pulled my hand away, reluctantly. Sorry, Commander, I said. I've studied the planet for years, but seeing it up close is something else entirely. Below us, Nexus rotated slowly, its atmosphere swirling with lavender clouds against deep violet oceans. The entire world looked like an amethyst suspended in black velvet. Dr. Sarah Williams, Cooper said, consulting his tablet. Xenobotanist specializing in adaptive plant biology, correct? That's me. I nodded, trying to look more professional than I felt after the 20-hour shuttle journey. Here to study how vegetation evolved under the ultraviolet spectrum. Cooper's expression remained neutral. Your credentials are impressive, but remember, this station maintains strict diplomatic protocols. The Nexans allowed this research facility as a gesture of goodwill. Don't make me regret requesting you. I understand, I said, though his warning seemed excessive for someone who'd be spending most of her time in the greenhouse section. Your orientation begins at 800 tomorrow. Cooper gestured toward the corridor. Quarters are in Section C. Your equipment arrived yesterday. As Cooper left, I turned back to the viewport. The station's rotation brought the planet's second moon into view, casting the observation deck in ghostly purple light. It's beautiful, isn't it? A melodic voice said from behind me. I turned and my breath caught. The figure standing in the doorway wasn't human. Her skin was a deep violet that seemed to absorb and reflect the light simultaneously. Her eyes were large, almond-shaped with irises the color of Arctic ice. Her features were delicate yet strong, with high cheekbones and full lips. She wore what appeared to be ceremonial attire, flowing fabrics that shimmered with embedded crystals. I'm Aria, she said, approaching with fluid grace. You must be the new scientist. Sarah, I managed. Sarah Williams. I didn't realize there were Nexans aboard the station. Aria smiled, revealing teeth that were slightly sharper than human ones. There aren't many of us here. I serve as cultural liaison between your people and mine. She moved beside me at the viewport. What do you think of my world? It's magnificent, I said honestly. I've never seen anything like it. Few humans have. Aria's voice carried a slight musical quality. Your species has only been visiting for 3 years. Most don't stay long. There was something in the way she studied me that made me both uncomfortable and intrigued. Her gaze seemed to look through rather than at me. I'll be here for at least a year, I said, studying your planet's plant life. Plants, Aria repeated with a curious tilt of her head. Yet Commander Cooper requested you specifically a botanist when we have so many other scientific disciplines studying our world. That surprised me. Cooper requested me. I thought this was a standard research rotation. Aria's smile deepened. Nothing about Nexus is standard, Dr. Williams. She stepped closer, her scent reminiscent of exotic spices. There are no coincidences in the universe, only paths that intersect for reasons we do not yet understand. The door hissed open, and Commander Cooper froze mid-stride, his eyes narrowing when he saw Aria. High Sentinel, he said. Formally, I wasn't aware you were aboard the station today. I wanted to welcome our new guests personally, Aria said, her demeanor shifting subtly. Particularly Dr. Williams here. Cooper's jaw tightened. Dr. Williams hasn't completed orientation or security briefing. Security briefing, I echoed. For botanical research. Standard procedure. Cooper said, though his expression suggested otherwise. Aria touched my arm lightly, sending an unexpected warmth through my skin. We'll speak again, Sarah. I have many questions about Earth's flora, and perhaps you have questions for me as well. As she glided past Cooper, she paused. Remember our agreement, Commander. The scientist was part of our terms. After she left, Cooper's professional facade cracked slightly. Whatever she told you, forget it. Your job is plants, nothing more. Stay away from the Nexans, especially her. Why? I asked. Who is she exactly? High Sentinel area is royalty on Nexus. Cooper said, his voice low. And she requested you by name months before we even posted the position. I stared at the empty doorway where she had been. But how does she even know who I am? Cooper's expression darkened. That Dr. Williams is exactly what worries me. Violet revelation. Sleep eluded me that night. My quarters, though comfortable, felt alien with their curved walls and ambient lighting that responded to my movements. I couldn't stop thinking about Arya's words and the way Cooper had reacted to her presence. My datapad chimed with a message. Dr. Williams, please report to Lab 7 for equipment calibration. Dr. Chen is expecting you. Lab 7 wasn't on my orientation schedule. Still, I dressed quickly and followed the station's glowing path markers. The lab doors opened to reveal a compact space filled with medical equipment rather than botanical tools. A woman in her 50s looked up from a console. Dr. Williams, I'm Helen Chen, station physician and xenobiologist. She gestured to a chair. Please, sit. I thought I was here for equipment calibration, I said, remaining standing. Dr. Chen smiled thinly. A necessary misdirection. I'm afraid Commander Cooper doesn't want your conversations monitored. She tapped her tablet, and a dampening field hummed. To life around us. Now we can speak freely. About what exactly? About why you're really here. Dr. Chen said, and what High Sentinel area wants from you. My pulse quickened. Cooper said she requested me specifically, but that's impossible. I've never had contact with any Nexans. And yet she knows you. Dr. Chen pulled up a file on her screen, turning it so I could see my own academic publications and personal information. The Nexans have been studying you for months. That's unsettling, I said, trying to mask my unease. What could they possibly want with a botanist? Dr. Chen's expression grew serious. The Nexans are dying, Sarah. Their population has been declining for centuries. They're down to fewer than 10,000 individuals. A genetic bottleneck. I suggested thinking of endangered species on Earth. Precisely. Dr. Chen nodded. But it's more complex. Their species reproduces through a biological merger. They call it the Crimson Bond, a ritual exchange of blood that allows genetic recombination. I frowned, like vampirism. A crude comparison, but not entirely inaccurate. Dr. Chen said, the problem is they've exhausted their genetic diversity. Inbreeding depression is causing each generation to be weaker than the last. The implications struck me, and they think humans might be compatible. Not all humans, Dr. Chen said quietly, just certain ones with specific genetic markers. She looked at me meaningfully. Markers you possess? My mouth went dry. That's why Arya was so interested. In me, she wants my blood. She wants more than that. Dr. Chen pulled up another file showing complex biochemical structures. The Crimson Bond isn't just a physical exchange. It creates a permanent biological link between participants, a symbiosis. That's not possible, I whispered. 3 months ago, they approached another human with these markers, Dr. Chen said. He agreed to a preliminary test. The results were promising, but the full bond was never completed. What happened to him? Nothing sinister, Dr. Chen assured me. He simply couldn't handle the psychological implications and requested reassignment. Cooper had him transferred back to Earth. I sank into the chair. So I'm here as a backup plan. You're here because you have the right genetic profile and the right psychological assessment. Dr. Chen said, your botanical research is legitimate but secondary. Does everyone know about this except me? Only Cooper, myself, and now you. Dr. Chen said, the official position is that we're conducting cultural exchange and scientific research. The truth is, Earth needs Nexan technology, and the Nexans need our genetic diversity, a mutually beneficial arrangement. Except I never agreed to be a blood donor, I said, anger rising. The door slid open, and Arya entered, her presence immediately commanding the room. Not a donor, Sarah, she said, her voice soft. A savior. Dr. Chen stood. "Hi, Sentinel, I wasn't informed you'd be joining us." "Leave us, please," Arya said, her eyes never leaving mine. When we were alone, Arya moved closer. "I apologize for the deception. It was necessary until we could determine your temperament. You've been studying me like a lab specimen," I said. "We've been hoping," Arya corrected, "hoping you might be someone who could understand our desperation." Something in her voice made me look closer, and I noticed the fatigue etched in her features. "You're sick. My entire species is sick," Arya said. "I am the last of my bloodline. My sister was the previous High Sentinel. She died 3 cycles ago, leaving no successor. The royal lineage will end with me unless—" She hesitated. "Unless the bond can create new possibilities. The crimson bond with a human." "With me," Arya nodded. "The bond would change us both. You would gain certain aspects of my biology, I would gain genetic diversity. Our memories would intermingle, our lifespans would synchronize. You're talking about fundamentally altering what I am. I'm talking about saving my people," Arya said, placing a hand over mine. Her skin was warmer than I expected, and perhaps discovering what we could become together. The intensity in her eyes made me pull away. "I need time to think. This is too much. Time is the one luxury my people don't have," Arya said. "But, I will give you what I can." She moved toward the door. "When you're ready, come find me, Sarah. The choice will always be yours." After she left, Dr. Chen returned, her expression grim. "There's something else you should know," she said. "The bond may be permanent. The last human who attempted it still dreams in their language from across the galaxy." Whispered decisions. The greenhouse module hung from the underside of the station like a crystal teardrop. I sought refuge there among the experimental plants from Earth, thriving under artificial light. The familiar scent of soil and green things centered me as I tried to process everything I'd learned. "Thought I might find you here," a voice called from the entrance. Kai, my research assistant, leaned against the doorframe. His easy smile faltered when he saw my expression. "Whoa. You look like someone just told you aliens want your blood." I nearly choked. "What did you say?" Kai raised his hands. "Just a joke. Bad timing, sorry." He approached, carrying sample containers. "Cooper mentioned you missed orientation. Everything okay?" "Just overwhelmed," I said carefully, unsure how much I could share. "The station is a lot to take in. Tell me about it." Kai began organizing specimens. "My first week here, I got lost so many times they installed extra directional markers." He glanced at me. "But I'm guessing that's not what's bothering you." I hesitated. "Then, have you had much interaction with the Nexans?" Kai's fingers stilled. "Some the ones on station keep to themselves, mostly Arya's the exception. She's interested in everything human." He studied me. "You've met her?" "Yesterday," I admitted. "She seemed to know me." "That tracks." Kai nodded. "She asks questions about every new arrival, especially the scientists." He lowered his voice. "Word is, she's some kind of royalty back on Nexus." "High Sentinel," I confirmed. "Apparently the last of her bloodline." "Huh." Kai looked impressed. "And she sought you out personally. That's either very good or very bad. Which do you think it is?" Kai shrugged. "Depends on what she wants." What she wanted. Was it really as simple as saving her species? Or was there something more personal in the way she'd looked at me? "If you had the chance to do something significant," I said carefully. "Something that might help an entire civilization, but required personal sacrifice, would you do it?" Kai whistled low. "That's not a hypothetical question, is it?" When I didn't answer, he continued. "My grandmother was from a small Pacific island. Most of her culture was lost to rising seas and forced relocation." His expression grew distant. "I'd give anything to have saved even a fragment of what was lost." We worked in silence for a while, tending to the samples. The rhythm of scientific work soothed my racing thoughts. "Dr. Williams." The intercom crackled. Please report to Conference Room C. Representative Isabel from the Nexan Council requests your presence. I exchanged looks with Kai, Representative Isabel, political counterpart to Arya. Kai explained, "They don't exactly get along, from what I've heard." Conference Room C was dominated by a circular table where 3 Nexans waited. Their violet skin varied in shade and intensity, but all shared the same ethereal quality as Arya. The central figure, a female with elaborate silver markings on her temples, rose as I entered. "Dr. Williams, I am Representative Isabel." Her voice lacked the melodic quality of Arya's, instead carrying crisp authority. "These are my associates from the Scientific Advisory Council." I wasn't aware. "We had a meeting scheduled," I said, taking the offered seat. "High Sentinel Arya has overstepped her authority," Isabel said without preamble. "She has approached you regarding a biological matter without council approval." I maintained a neutral expression. "I'm not sure what you mean." "Please." Isabel's tone sharpened. "We monitor all significant interactions on this station. The High Sentinel spoke with you about the Crimson Bond, did she not?" There seemed little point in denying it. "She did." Isabel exchanged glances with her colleagues. "Then you should know that while Arya speaks of saving our species, her interest in you is not entirely altruistic." "Explain." "The Crimson Bond is sacred," Isabel said. "Once formed, it cannot be broken. It joins 2 beings, not just biologically, but spiritually. Each carries the other within them forever." She leaned forward. "Arya is not merely seeking a donor. She seeks a bondmate, one who will share her thoughts, her memories, her very essence." She mentioned genetic compatibility. "Compatibility is rare," Isabel acknowledged, "but not as rare as she claims. There are other options. Other compatible humans. We advised pursuing multiple candidates, creating a diverse foundation for regeneration. But Arya chose me specifically." Isabel's expression softened slightly. "High Sentinel. Arya has been alone for a very long time. Dr. Williams' power isolates her sister's death, left her without family, without connection. She believes the bond will save our people, but I suspect she seeks it for reasons more personal than political." The revelation shifted something inside me. Was Arya's interest more than scientific or diplomatic? Was she seeking connection as much as salvation? "Representative Isabel," I said carefully, "are you advising against the bond?" "I am advising caution," she replied. "The bond will change you in ways we cannot fully predict, and it will bind you to Arya for as long as you both shall live." She stood signaling the end of our meeting. "Consider carefully whether you're prepared for such a commitment." As I left the conference room, I found Arya waiting in the corridor, her posture rigid, her eyes flashed with barely contained emotion. "Isabel spoke with you." "Not a question, she did." Arya moved closer. "And now you doubt me." "I don't know what to think." I admitted, "Yesterday I was a botanist. Today I'm apparently the key to saving an alien species. And possibly," I hesitated, "something more to you personally." A flush of deeper purple spread across Arya's cheeks. "Isabel speaks of matters she does not understand." "Then help me understand," I said. "What does the bond really mean to you?" Arya's composure faltered. "Meet me tonight. In the observation dome after station midnight I will show you." Crimson ceremony. The observation dome glittered with starlight when I arrived. Arya stood silhouetted against the vast panorama of space, her form ethereal in the dim lighting. "You came," she said. Turning, her eyes reflected the stars, making them seem endless. "I need answers," I replied. "Real ones." Arya gestured and the dome darkened. A holographic display activated, showing intricate biochemical structures. "This is my DNA," she explained. "And this," another structure appeared beside it, "is yours. Our compatibility is not random, Sarah. Your genetic structure contains patterns that complement my own, like pieces of a puzzle separated across galaxies." "Why me, though? Not just any compatible human?" Arya hesitated, then waved her hand. The display, changed showing brain scans. When we first encountered humans, we conducted neural mapping. This is your thought pattern. She touched the image gently. It resonates with mine. A harmony I cannot explain scientifically. Something in her vulnerability reached me. You're saying we're connected somehow? I believe we are. Arya moved closer. The bond is not merely scientific, Sarah. It is a joining of souls. My people believe compatible spirits find each other across time and space. And if we complete this bond, we would share consciousness, Arya said. Your thoughts, my memories, our lives intertwined. You would understand my people as no human ever has. And she paused. I would no longer be alone. Her loneliness resonated with something in me, a lifetime of feeling different, isolated in my dedication to science. I'll do it. I said the words emerging before I'd fully processed the decision. I'll complete the bond. Arya's expression transformed with hope. You understand what this means? Not entirely, I admitted. But I'm willing to find out. Dr. Chen prepared the medical bay. The procedure carries risks, she warned, connecting monitors to my body. Your systems will attempt to reject the foreign biochemicals. Your neural pathways will undergo significant reorganization. Commander Cooper stormed in. This is insanity, Williams. You can't seriously be considering this. The decision is made. Commander, I said calmly. Cooper turned to Arya. You've manipulated her. She doesn't understand what she's agreeing to. The door slid open again, revealing Commander Rena, the Nexan military liaison, her uniform adorned with symbols of rank. Step away from the human, Cooper, she ordered. By whose authority is this proceeding? Mine, Arya said, her voice carrying new power as High Sentinel of Nexus. The Council has not approved this bond, Rena countered. Isabel has filed formal objections. The ancient laws grant me the right to choose my bondmate. Arya replied. No council can overrule that. The tension crackled between them. Rena's hand moved to her ceremonial blade. This human cannot consent to something she cannot comprehend. I stood despite Dr. Chen's protests. I understand enough, I choose this. The Nexans in the room grew. Still, something unspoken passed between them. Very well, Rena said finally, but I will bear witness to ensure the ancient protocols are observed. Arya approached me, her hands trembling slightly. Are you certain? I nodded. She drew a ceremonial blade. Across her palm, violet blood welling from the cut. Once begun, there is no return. Twilight Union. Arya's blood glowed with bioluminescence as it mixed with mine. The connection was immediate, intense. An electric current racing through my nervous system. I gasped as foreign sensations flooded my consciousness. Memories not my own cascaded through my mind. The weight of centuries of loneliness. A sister's death. The crushing responsibility of being the last royal bloodline. Ancient ceremonies, gardens of crystal flowers. The desperate hope when humans first arrived. Stay with her. Dr. Chen's voice seemed distant. Their systems are synchronizing. Through the haze, I felt Arya's mind touching mine, her consciousness tentative at first, then embracing. She felt my childhood memories, my passion for botany, my secret fears. The barriers between us dissolved. Sarah. Arya's voice echoed both in my ears and in my mind. Can you hear me? I feel you, I whispered, everywhere. The bond crystallized between us, solidifying into something permanent and profound. I could sense her heartbeat alongside mine, feel her emotions as if they were my own. The alienness of it should have terrified me. Instead, it felt like finding a piece of myself I hadn't known was missing. Days later, we stood together in the greenhouse. My plants had responded to the changed biochemistry in my system, growing with unprecedented vigor. A side effect of the bond. Arya explained, her hand entwined with mine. Your connection to plant life has intensified as has mine to you. Dr. Chen monitored our progress with fascination. The changes are remarkable. Your cellular structure has partially harmonized. Your lifespans appear to have equalized. And the telepathic link, she shook her head, beyond anything we could have predicted. Commander Cooper remained skeptical. The Council is divided. Some see this as the salvation of your species. Others fear it's the beginning of its end. It's both. Arya said simply, we will never be what we were, but perhaps we can become something greater. Through our bond, I felt her hope, her determination, the knowledge that we were the first of something new. Interspecies symbiosis. A bridge between worlds, Isabel arrived with a delegation from Nexus. Their initial hostility had given way to cautious optimism as our bond stabilized. The genetic alterations are promising, she admitted. We've identified 17 more potential human matches. Not matches, I corrected, partners. This isn't just about genetics, Isabel. The bond is deeper. She inclined her head, acknowledging my point. The Council has approved a formal exchange program. Volunteers from both species working together as you and Arya have demonstrated is possible. Night when the station dimmed, we stood at the viewport watching Nexus rotate below. The purple world no longer seemed alien to me. I could feel its rhythms through Arya's memories, understand its beauty through her eyes. Are you afraid? Arya asked, her thoughts brushing against mine. Of what we've become. I considered the question, feeling the changes in my body. The alien presence in my mind that had become as familiar as my own thoughts, not afraid. I answered, just aware that we're creating something unprecedented, a new beginning. Arya's fingers traced the faint purple tint that had emerged on my skin. For both our peoples. Through our bond flowed images of possibility. Children with mixed heritage gardens, thriving with hybridized plants. Knowledge shared across species barriers. The salvation of a dying world and the evolution of two distinct species into something neither had imagined possible. Whatever comes next, I said, feeling her emotions resonating with mine, we face it together. Arya smiled, her mind opening fully to mine. Always our consciousness merged in the starlight, two worlds no longer separate, but intertwined in ways science alone could never explain.